5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Good morning and God bless you. Hopefully you guys are ready for what the day brings. And here comes Dr. Newt. Newt, I don't know if I did my background right. You know, I was over here monitoring the things, y'all. Hopefully I did the right thing.
We are good to go. Welcome, everyone.
Good morning. How they say it. Good morning. Let me share really quick while the good doctor talks.
Welcome you guys to launch
with Kim
and Dr. Newt. We hope you guys are all having a great day. Matter of fact, we know you guys are all having a great day because you're having a day. And I know that there's a lot of things going on in people's lives. Conditions and circumstances, situations are not always conducive. Sometimes they're painful. Sometimes they're not always. I mean, we've had that share of mishaps in our lives ourselves, loved ones, going on. Financial challenges, our own poor decisions, issues with children, property, jobs.
Ourselves.
Ourselves,
issues with ourselves.
But that's just a condition. Mm-hmm. It's just a circumstance.
That's painful, but it's still, because we don't want to overlook the fact that it can be harmful, which you mentioned it. Right. But I just want to say it's not that we're not sensitive to that. Because we are praying for our community and families.
For people in communities, these things. So, but I do want to say this, and I say this with all due respect because I've had my own episodes. It still says, I believe it's Deuteronomy, where it says, listen, we are blessed coming in, and we are blessed going out in the city, in the field. We are the lender and not the borrower. We are above and not beneath. We are the head and we're not the tail. And that we are talks to our state of being. Not a stage that we go through or circumstance or situation that we have to endure. It talks about our state of being. So I just want to tell you today that you are blessed.
You are blessed.
So what that means is when you show up, the blessings show up.
Yeah.
That means that when you walk in the situation, you walk in the atmosphere, something has to change because you are there.
That's right.
And your state of being is one of blessings.
Yes.
So we just want to remind you of that today, before we get started. We have, again, a lot to cover, you guys. We're talking about, we're in our series of what we call our layers of leadership series.
Because there are layers.
Right. And we don't know how long we're going to be here. We're just going to sit here. We're going to rest here for a minute.
The Lord says different.
So it could be next year. I don't know. But we're just going to rest here. And whatever comes up as a subtopic, a subgroup, then we're going to study that. We're going to throw that out to you. So this is our third week. In the first week, we talked about defining leadership. Right. So we gave you some definitions about myths and followers and things of that sort. But basically, we said that leaders are all driven by some kind of anger or frustration or some need to solve a problem, to address a thing. Right. And that they're courageous. They're ready to train others. And they always focus on their why. We talked about the secular view versus the kingdom view, and we left you with 3 C's that first week. 3 C's. Look, I put up 4 fingers. 3 C's.
You right? Do that a little often. It's okay.
3 C's, right? And the first one was clarity. And those 3 C's came from Joshua. He's our prototype that we're using for leadership so far. And in the first 9 verses of that first chapter, he had a conversation with God. And in that conversation, 3 C's were dropped on us. Clarity.
Yeah. Clarity.
Clarity was the first one. He was made clear that he was now the leader. God stopped and said, Moses, my servant, is dead. Even though Joshua already knew that, right? You know, he's dead. Let's make it clear.
Yeah.
And this is what you're going to do.
And
now,
God will always, I'm sorry, Newt, but God will always bring that clarity, even with things you may already know, but might not be acting upon.
Right.
He's still got to bring that clarity to you. Okay, you know it, but you're not doing anything about it.
Right. So he made it clear who he was, what he was about to do, and what God wanted him to do. He even told him where he wanted him to conquer, right? So this is a sidestep, a rabbit trail for leaders. If you are a leader over an organization, right now you have people under you, and you are shifting positions in your organization. You have someone new coming in, or you're changing something around. You have to do exactly what God just did to Joshua. You have to make it clear that that person is now in that particular position and has authority to do certain things because you said so. So clarity, right? The second C is courage. God told Joshua in that first 9 verses 3 times. I got the fingers right this time. 3 times he said, be strong and be of good courage, right? Be courageous, right?
Very courageous.
Right. State of being.
Yeah.
Be, again, like we started this off. Be, it's about that being.
Being.
He didn't say try. He didn't say become.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like none of that. I want you to feel courage or not be.
That's good that you said that. You're not going to feel courage. I love that you said that.
Right.
Because you're not going to always feel courage. You might feel fearful or worried.
Right.
But he told him to be very courageous.
Exactly.
Something he had to put on.
Exactly. And walk in. No matter what it looks like.
Yes.
No matter what it feels like. It's something that you don't see. It's something that you be.
Yeah.
Right. And that's tough to do. Right. So he talked about the courage piece and courage to stand out, courage to stand up, courage to go do something that was never done before, courage to not to imitate what you've seen happen before, because you sat under Moses all this time.
Yeah,
right. So
there it is.
Courage not to do what Moses did, because that's the popular thing, but courage to do what I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Courage to do what's inside you, what you see when you close your eyes.
Yeah.
Stand up and be that. You know, everybody else is wearing black sneakers. You wear white sneakers.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Courage.
You see.
Right. Yes.
Courage to be you.
Yes. And then character was the third C we talked about. So the character had 2 pieces. It was the character for Joshua, I'm going to say Moses, Joshua, to check himself. Because remember, he was the executive assistant. You know, he was making about 45, 50,000 a year, you know, making sure that Moses's Outlook calendar and emails and phone calls and everything were in place, and everything. And overnight, now he's now over the CAO, the CEO, the CFO. You know, he's reporting directly to the board president. He's now making that 250, 300,000 a year, and his name is on all the paychecks overnight. Nothing else changed but him. So he had to have the character to keep himself in check.
Yes, he did.
First of all, then he had to have the character to be able to release, I'm going to call it the integrity, into the organization so that it could keep moving forward and accomplish the mission and the vision that was set before them that none of them said. Moses said it. Now Moses is gone.
Yeah.
Right. So it took some integrity. So it was about character. You got to have clarity. You got to have courage, and you got to have character as you define the leadership within yourself.
Yes.
Then we went into week 2, you guys, and we did an introduction of you. So we talked about the introduction of you, and we did it through teaching you the purpose, fruit, follower cycle.
Yes.
Purpose, fruit, follower cycle. We said we all have a purpose.
That's right.
Right. Everybody has a purpose because you have a purpose. That purpose is meant to solve a problem. I know I'm talking fast, but you can go back and watch the replay. Right. The purpose is meant to solve a problem, and that purpose, because it's meant to solve a problem, it makes you a target. Because everything doesn't want that problem solved.
That's right.
Or if it
Opposition.
does, or here, check this out. Even if it does, it doesn't want you to solve it.
Oh, wow.
They may want to be
They
the
may
person.
want to be the person.
Right. So either way, there's some target
wow.
happening on you just because you're trying to do the right thing.
Just because.
Right. Right. And in order to accomplish that purpose, you don't need to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be fully perfect and developed. You just need a willingness.
Yeah.
To be able to do it. You
so
need
perfected
open mind.
Willingness, a
right.
willingness that's perfected.
Right. Willingness, not perfection.
Yeah.
Right. Then we talked about fruit, right? And we said that your fruit is what attracts your followers. So you have a responsibility to develop that fruit. But the point that we pulled out in the fruit, we said that your fruit is a continuous and unlimited well of possibilities in your area of giftedness.
Yeah.
Right. Meaning this, times may change, approaches may change. Social, I'm going to say acceptedness may change, but your fruit doesn't. What you produce doesn't. So because it's continuous and unlimited, it's okay for you to change how you present that fruit to others.
So what that means, guys, is the message does not change.
But the method
might change.
Right.
How you do it. Like an example, how we went from preaching from pulpits to now online teaching.
Right.
The message stayed the same.
Right.
The method by which we delivered it
is
changed.
Unlimited.
And that is right.
Unlimited.
That's it. That's the key. It's unlimited.
Right, right. Then we talked about followers and we said, listen, your fruit attracts the followers. Followers don't attract the fruit. I love oranges is the example I gave. I've never had an orange tree knock on my front door and say, eat me.
Right.
Right. I've always had to go to the grocery store to get them. And I know which grocery stores have the better oranges.
Yeah.
Because I like oranges, right?
So you go to
so
that
I go
store.
to that store.
Exactly.
Sometimes I pay a little more or whatever the case, but I get what I want because I'm attracted to that fruit.
Yes.
So that fruit has been made to be appealing to me. You know, nice and orange and big, and they clean them off and they put it, they set them a certain way. And I'm like, I want that kind right
that
there.
Presentation.
Yes, right. I squeeze them and I don't want them too hard, too soft. You know, just different things. That fruit attracts me, right? So your fruit has to be able to attract, and we'll talk a little bit more about that today. Who you know is in front of you, right? So you have to make sure that your fruit is properly ripened. We want to point that out to you. Oftentimes, especially later on, we'll talk about different types of leader. But if you're that go attack type leader, you'll get half the picture, half the story, and you'll take off running. And you will deposit things in people that's not mature. And they'll think they can run through a brick wall, not knowing that they have to loosen up the wall first because you didn't tell them that part, because you didn't know to tell them that part, because your fruit wasn't fully developed. My point is this: you don't want to feed somebody something that could damage them or hurt them because you didn't take the time to build the skill and fully mature it. On the other hand, there's those of us, and I'm speaking more to us a little more seasoned, we've known what's worked with us or had a way that's worked with us. Well, time has changed. Society has changed. Demands and procedures of operation have changed, and we're still holding people to doing things the way we've done it before. Our fruit has over ripened, and now when they eat it, it makes them sick because it's too ripe. So, not that the fruit is not still what's the word I want to say, valuable, but you let it sit too long. You didn't change. So we have to be able to switch with that.
You didn't use it when it was time.
Exactly, use it when it was time. So we talked about internal leadership. We said that leadership is an internal journey that's going to require that something you get to know yourself enough, right, and have the character enough that we talked about in week 1 to let things fall off of you and fall to the ground and do what? Die. Why do they die? Because the soil puts a demand on the seed to change its form and produce what it was designed to produce. So those things have to fall off of you. Not that they're useless, but they're useful, but they're just not the demand, they're in the wrong form. Right. So we have to learn. Listen, the Bible says we become a new creature. Old things are passed away, not another creature. You know, so when I get saved, my bullheadedness comes with me. You know, I just need to know how to shift that and make it a profitable in the kingdom. Yes.
Now there's some parts of that bullheadedness that will shift or go away.
there's some intention.
There's
Yes,
some intention.
Yes. We will get there. So we went from there and we talked about external leadership, because once you start to develop your internal leadership, now you're ready to be a leader externally. And we said, listen, even when you become that external leader, it's not about position. It's not about what you can gather, what you can build, and what you can do, although you want to do those things.
Right.
It's about the fruit that you produce. It's still about that internal fruit that you produce. Now you're making that your purpose fruitful. So, and your fruit purposeful, right? And I had an example and it slipped my mind, so I'm just going to let it go and we're going to keep moving because now we're into week 3. So we did a review of everything. We won't do that all the time. I only did that because last week we had to cut it in half and didn't plan on doing that. So we're talking about this week, week 3. We're still in our Layers of Leadership series, but we want to focus on rest in the land. An introduction to yourself, rest in the land. And our scripture focus is really Joshua 11:23, but we're really talking about 11:16 to 23. But I want to focus on that 23rd verse. You look at it 16 to 23, it shows all the conquest of Joshua.
Yeah.
And then that 23rd verse reads, it's on the screen, it says, so Joshua took the whole land, not part of it, not a piece of it. He didn't do what seemed like a good thing for him and stop. He took the whole land, right?
Yeah.
That's a lesson I need from Joshua. Finish the whole thing, right? The trim, all of it. Finish the whole thing. We're doing some home improvements, so I'm cutting on myself right now, right? Finish the whole thing. And he did that according to all that the Lord had said to who?
Him.
To Moses.
Oh, to Moses, that's right.
He never said it to him.
He told Moses.
God never talked to Joshua.
He told him to do what Moses told him.
He
That's
said,
right.
what Moses told you, right?
You're right.
Right. Then God described what he told Moses. So he never told Joshua, he told Moses. Moses was really following the orders of someone else. So, Joshua was. Moses was still influencing Israel after he was dead. My point is, the greatest leaders are measured by what they do after they are gone, right? So after Joshua did that, he said, and he gave it as an inheritance. Again, he didn't look for personal gain.
No.
He was not a positional leader. He wasn't trying to build his reputation.
Right.
He wasn't the one that, was going to come out the back with the cordless mic during praise and worship. He wasn't... He wasn't the one that, I don't know, everybody got to stand up when he come in the room, although they might if they choose.
Right.
He was about what this purpose was. What was the plan? What am I being asked to do? What's the mission, right? So he gave all that land to Israel according to their inheritance. That had all the allotments that had already been laid out, right? And here's what I love about this verse, which is really want to kind of focus on you today. We're going to give you 3 more C's: C4, C5, and C6. And those C's are going to tell you how to do what this last sentence says: to have rest from war in your land. So I don't know about you. I got some land, and there's some war in some areas of my land, and I would really love to see rest from war in those areas. For instance, I would love to be financially independent. That's rest from war in a land that I possess. I mean, just things like that. We all have that, and that's what's in place. So just kind of looking back, we could kind of look at the difference between Moses and Joshua. So Moses was a he was a great leader. He was the man, very spiritual, did a whole bunch of things, miracles at his hand. I mean, stuff never been before. He walked up to Pharaoh and said, let my people go.
Yeah, he did.
I got a stick. What? You know what I mean? Pharaoh. I mean, Pharaoh could do anything, and it was lawful.
Because of position.
He could have did anything to Moses. Hung him up by his ears. I mean, anything, right? But he that took some guts. So Moses, great leader, walks him through this wilderness 40 years, purges things out. He was a great starter. He was a great establisher. Right? But Joshua came along and he was a finisher. He was a finisher. So it was 2 different things. Not both were needed, right? Just the phase of the growth and the progress Israel was going to, it needed a different kind of leader, not a Moses leader, but a Joshua leader. And God understood that that Joshua's one thing was he was a finisher. God knew that because he put it in him. So what did he do? He pulled him out, told him, listen, I want you to move quickly. Get them over Get them over to Jordan. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you what to do when you get there, right? So Joshua's one thing was he was a finisher. He understood that about himself. So the first C I want to tell you about today is competence.
Yeah.
What's your one thing? What's your area of competence? What is competence? It's the ability to do a thing. It's the ability to get something done. How, get it done successfully, but more importantly, efficiently.
Yeah.
What do I mean by efficiently? Smoothly. So we're doing, I told you we're doing some house improvement.
Yeah, we're doing.
So we're DIYers, right? So we go on YouTube and we look at 8, 9 videos over and over again. And when you're watching those guys doing those videos, it looks easy.
Yeah, they're just whipping and going.
Oh my goodness. Because it's what they do.
Right.
They're competent in that skill set. Right. So I've watched the videos, got my game plan together and everything. We go get what we need to have. We have it all laid out. And I'm up a couple of nights in a row, 4 nights in a row, 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. Right. It's just not as easy because I'm not competent in that area.
And the other thing is they're recording too. So.
Right.
but the competency
that's their skill set.
That's right.
Even if they weren't recording, they're going to lay that thing.
Yeah.
Because we've had people here to do a couple things, and I watch them
really quickly.
Right. So competency is not just being able to get it done, but efficiently.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to pour that out to you. And now the reason why I'm saying that to you is because God will always deal with you in your area of competence, right? He's not going to call you out of an area where you're not competent to do a thing, right? God's efficient. He doesn't waste anything, and he's formed you. He knows what's in you, right? So he's always going to call you to grow, and he's never going to pull you out and call you out an area that's not an area of competence for you. So why am I saying that to you? I'm saying it's because I'm not saying that you won't have some rough times.
Right.
You know, that was the first week when we talked about courage.
Yeah.
When we talked about clarity and character. You're going to have a hard time learning a thing.
Yeah.
But you're learning that thing because it is your area of competency. It is your the skill that you've been formed with. But as you master that thing, you become head and shoulders above others.
Yeah.
You have to develop the character to master that thing. But why am I saying this to you? I'm saying it because what we tend to do is we tend to like what other folks are doing. So can I be transparent? So I have this thing, I have this apostolic type way of operating. I'm not an apostle. It is not my office. But I believe we all have an apostolic phase or a component to our why, our ministry, our purpose, right? So I will see things. Something will be a download in me, and I'll see that and get this great idea. And I know I must get on Kim's nerves. And I'll come and I'll say, oh, this is what I want to do. I think we should da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. I'll probably have 100 ideas, right? And they're all great ideas. And we'll talk for half an hour about that idea, and I won't do it. Months will go by, sometimes years will go by. Back in the day, and I would see that thing pop up. Now, back in the day, it would always be somebody I didn't know was doing that thing.
So it didn't affect.
It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, confirmation. That's right. I knew such and such.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't have time for examples. So here recently, last few years, I've been doing the same thing. Or I'll start a thing and stop it, or talk about it and not do it. Then I'll see someone close to me, someone I know personally or have reached to doing that thing. And it bothers me. I'm just being transparent. It bothers me. At first, I would have an issue with the person, right? Person didn't even know, or also, man, they looked at my minute messages. They was on our website. They heard us say, I would go through that. And then, God kind of sat me down. It's like, listen, how you going to get mad at them for something you wouldn't do?
Yeah.
Because they listened and did. How you going to get mad at them? What's wrong with you? You should be mad at yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Why am I saying it to you? This is kind of a weak example to what I'm saying. But what I should, and I'm learning to do right now, and I'm actually consciously, beating myself down when that comes up in me to admire what others possess and are doing instead of desiring it.
So it's admiring their obedience.
Yes.
Because it's not like the gift or the calling wasn't placed on you, but just like he had told his man of God who was hiding in the cave from Jezebel, and he was like, there's none left. And the Lord said, excuse me, sir, I have so many that have not bowed to Baal.
Right.
So it's just not that I'm telling you. There are others who have also given these directions too, because I need this to reach the world and not just your community.
The perfume smells good.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm kind of distracted right
now. No, don't be distracted. Stay focused.
So we have to learn to admire what others possess and not necessarily desire it, because we have to understand our purpose.
Exactly.
Right. So my point is, passion and people can pull you off your path of purpose. Passion,
your passion,
and people
that you're focused on.
Right.
Okay.
Can pull you off your path of purpose. I'm going to say it one more time. The passion that you have for a thing and people can pull you off the path of your purpose. Example, I love the piano and the saxophone, right? And I could probably take some lessons and learn how to play the piano and the saxophone. But, I'll never be a Troy Chambers or a Brett Kiner, a Billy Cobham, a Kareem, what's Kareem's last name? Thompson. I won't be any of those folks that play those instruments, Kenny G, because they had a purpose to influence and impact that industry and the people in that industry in a certain way.
Right.
That's not my purpose.
Right.
Right. So I admire what they do, but I don't desire it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I have to understand that I have a passion for those things, but I can't let my passion take me off path of my purpose.
Okay.
Or any people that might even say, oh, you'd be great at that.
That's good. Okay, now I see where you're going with that.
I can see you doing such and such.
Yeah.
Or great at this or that, or even the opposite, dream killers.
Yeah.
Let me leave that alone. So, because we need to move, but passionate people can take you off path of your purpose. You need to understand that your talent is what you can do. That's the gift you have. That's the skill set that you have in your hands.
Talent's like in the Bible.
Yes.
What God gave you.
Talent's what you have. It's what you have. It's your skill set, right? It's what you can do. Your passion is what you want to do. Right? What you want to do.
Wow.
But your purpose is what you're supposed to do.
That's good.
So you have to know the difference between those three.
Wow.
Chances are you're going to use your talent to accomplish your purpose. But we've been taught follow your passion, follow your heart. And that is not necessarily true.
No, that's good.
Because your passion could not be tied to your purpose at all. It just might be something you like.
Yeah. Wow.
So you need to understand all of them.
So let's say that again. Talent is what you can do.
Yes.
Passion is what you want to do, but purpose is what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
I was trying to find the things and I don't know where they went.
What?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
okay.
I see it.
Talent is what we can do.
Yeah.
Passion is what we want to do. But purpose is what you're supposed to do. That leads us to our first C for today. This is our first C. Competency. Competency. Right. Well, we already kind of introduced it, but I'm saying to you that competency requires some discipline from you. You and some restraint. You need to understand the difference between passion, what people are saying, and what your actual purpose is. So you're going to have to know what to say no to. So as a man in my 50s now, I know my time is way more valuable to me and to everyone else. So I have to make it that way. I have to know who to say yes to, who to say no to, what to say yes to, what to say no to, what to dwell on, what not to dwell on. My everything that I have is way more valuable now at this stage in my life than it was 20 years ago. Right? It's the same time and often the same information. But I have to be way more selective now of where I deposit it.
Right.
Because I don't have as much time to nurture it to help it grow, right? So I have to be competent. I got to be the guy on the DIY video who can spread that mortar. First time I made it too thin, so then I made it too thick and it dried too fast. So I needed to get competent, make it smooth, right? So that's going to require some discipline and some restraint from you. So I'm going to say this one to you. This is hard for folks because society tells us when certain things happen, society tells us that we need to pay attention to that thing.
Right.
Whether it's death or I don't know, somebody done wrong or whatever the case may be, we get that, oh, wow. Oh, society has told us we have to do that. We have to show that concern. We have to stop what we're doing and be a part of supporting that thing. That's what our standard operating procedure is in our society. I'm not saying that we should not be concerned, shouldn't have feelings, that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is that we have to know when to stop.
Or how far to go.
Yes.
So that we don't get off track.
And when to keep moving, right? The example that I want to give you is in Joshua. I think it's that 9th and 10th verse where in Joshua, I think it's the Gibeonites, right? So Joshua was killing everyone in the land, and the Gibeonites knew that. And there was no way they were going to match up with Joshua. So they pretended like they sent a little delegation out. They put on old clothes and old stuff and act like they were from somewhere far. And they came up on Joshua's crew, right?
They manipulated them.
And it's like, oh yeah, we're traveling and we need some help. So Joshua's crew, remember, they had just come out of the wilderness. So they understood what it was like to have nowhere to go, to be traveling in the wilderness forever. So what did they do? They saw those folks, right? And they took of their own provisions and gave to those folks, the Gibeonites, right? Because they understood, they empathized with what the Gibeonites said they were going through. So they, in their mind, the Israelites did a good thing because they understood it. Right. They had a heart for it, right? But they found out real soon that they were really the Gibeonites, which were their neighbors. But by now they had already made a treaty with them. Exactly. Right. So they couldn't go back on their treaty. Right. And here's what happened. Two things happened. One thing was the people heard about it. Yeah. And the people were now upset with the leaders. And that was a problem because Joshua just became the leader. Remember, nothing else changed but Joshua. So he didn't need any drama in the ranks. Right. Right. Now he has drama he has to deal with. So he had to backtrack with the people, said, listen, we didn't know. We didn't consult with God first. There it is. We just did a good thing because we thought we should do a good thing. Right. So I know the Bible says don't withhold good when it's in your power to do so. But there's also some restraint and some wisdom that goes with it. There's also some stand back and watch and see and think about the repercussions or the fallout from that good that you're about to do. Right. So first of all, they had trouble in the ranks. Yeah. Now, second of all, here's the other thing that took place. The other folks that Joshua was going to have to fight anyway, but the other ites in the land, they paired together and came against the Gibeonites because they heard that the Gibeonites had teamed up with the Israelites. So now Joshua has to fight for the Gibeonites against a combined army that he would not have had to fight as soon and as so intense
had he consulted
God. Right. So competency requires some discipline, right? I'm good at a thing, but it requires some discipline and some restraint because it'll put you in a bad place. So what had to happen was God stepped in, created a miracle, didn't let nighttime fall. So Joshua could keep his momentum and fight the battle. Now, you're probably going to say, well, God will take care of it anyway. Well, maybe he will, maybe he won't right then. What if Joshua would have lost that battle again and, that'd have been 2 in a row, Ai and that other one. So competency means this. You have to know what it is you're supposed to do. Because if you don't know what it is you're supposed to do, you're going to try to do everything good. And he who does everything gets nothing done. What's the second C? It's communication. So communication is what it says on the screen, is imparting or exchanging information. That's what it is. Communication is a what? How you communicate is a different thing, and why you communicate is a different thing. But communication is just imparting information back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bi-directional action.
So if Joshua would have used that skill to communicate with God, he would have gotten an answer.
Yes.
So his communication would have been consulting God.
Exactly. So here's the deal with communication. You need to understand that in every arena, communication, there's a way to communicate in every arena. Whether you're a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, whether you're on the street, there's a way communication happens in each arena. There's a language that takes place. In leadership, there's communication happens in three ways.
Mm-hmm.
There is casting, there is confronting, and there is cheering. That's how communication happens as a leader, whether you're leading yourself or leading someone else. Casting, communicating, confronting or cheering, right? So you need, as we define leadership, again, it's the ability to kind of share a vision so others can see that vision, and then they're influenced by you to kind of carry it out, right? So when we think of casting is simply kind of sharing the future or sharing the direction that you're going to go. It is a throwing a vision out there, kind of like, Peter and the fishers, they throw a net out there or a vision out there, and then they draw it in to be able to catch something. So it's an intentional motion. When you're casting as a leader, whether it's in yourself or something else, you're speaking, you're saying what you see because you want to accomplish that thing. It's intentional. It's not just random talking, right? So the point is that the vision that motivates something, how to say it like this? Let me say it like this. A vision that motivates an answer to a problem is a vision that will be accomplished. So in other words, like this, if the vision doesn't answer a problem that matters, then people won't follow the vision.
Okay.
Right. So the point is you have to have the quality of the net, the quality of the vision itself, the net, and how the skill of how it's cast or thrown out there matters. So your vision has to be attractive. Fruit has to be attractive. And how it's cast matters.
Okay.
Right. So quality and skill are things that go along with, as a leader, your communication as a leader when you're casting. Right. So you got to start that with yourself. You got to know how to cast the vision in yourself to say, hey, you know what? I'm going somewhere. You got to know when to tell yourself, I'm going to another level. You got to know how to motivate yourself first before you can do that with anyone else.
Right.
The second way that we speak as leaders is to confront. So confronting means to come face to face with the thing.
Right.
So one of the things that happened with Joshua on the way to the promised land is in their first battle in Ai. They were told not to take anything, and the stuff they took, they were supposed to put in the treasury. Well, one dude named Achan,
right,
and he was he was one of Joshua's boys, right? He took some stuff, hid in his tent, so they lost.
Right.
Yeah, they lost the battle they were supposed to win, right? And when Joshua found out, it was Achan, he had to confront him. Why would you do such a thing, right? Took him to the edge of the city, and all his family and all his cattle, and they stoned him. Yeah. Right. So, and that was hard for Joshua because that was his boy, right? But he had to come face to face with him. So, confronting is one of the other things that we have to do as a leader. And what I want to point out is that many of us will find ourselves on a journey in an endless circle in the wilderness because we refuse to confront the Achan that lies within ourselves. Yeah. So confrontation is, or not, and not in a negative, harsh way. Right. Confronting just means come face to face with. That this is where we are, and this is what I have. I can be civil with that, but realistic. Yeah. That happened to me once at a job. The gentleman said, if you don't do this, then this is going to happen. And I have so much respect for that man today. I can't even tell you, changed my life. Exactly. Right. So The third way that we speak as leaders is to cheer.
Mm-hmm.
So a cheer is a shout of approval. It's an encouragement. It brings some kind of comfort, right? So as a leader, you have to learn to talk to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're leading yourself or learning others, you have to learn to talk to yourself because there's all kinds of noise. So, it says encourage yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, talk to yourself. Have that conversation with yourself, to admire yourself, to inspire yourself, to stop all the negative talk that's going on, to stop really beating yourself up for things that you didn't know how to do until you learned them.
Right.
You're going to make a mistake because you don't know how. And that's all right. But after you made that mistake, you learned how, and you won't make that one again.
Right.
You're armed with more information. So give yourself a break, right? Give yourself a break. So as a leader, to cheer yourself on or to cheer others on, I'm telling you, first of all, starting with yourself, talk to yourself because your body follows your brain. So when you talk to yourself, your body will know what to do because your brain is told it what to do. So talk to yourself so your brain tells your body what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now don't make yourself look crazy, and you can talk to yourself in a silent voice, but you have to build that habit. You're either casting, confronting, or cheering.
And talking to yourself is literally just using God's words to remind yourself of who you are and what it is that you can do and that you should do and you were called to do.
Exactly.
So it's the reminder of self.
So as we get out of your way, we start to get out of your way.
Yeah.
I want you to let me say this to you first. The higher you go in leadership, understand the more often you're going to need to cheer or talk to yourself because there's more things coming. The more much is given, much is required. Okay. So just understand that. The last C I want to talk to you about is the center point. The center point. You have to have a center point. What is the center point? It's the point from which everything happens. It's the point from which all activity occurs. It's the point from which everything is measured. It is the reason why everything is taking place. Without a center point, you're random.
Mm-hmm.
You're jumping from here to there to here to there. There's no rhyme or reason to what you're doing. And you might be doing some great things, but they're not sticking or staying. And you definitely can't tie them together for any string to accomplish anything significant. So understand this, that the enemy does not come at you any longer to try to throw you off track with negative things, right? The enemy's going to come at you to throw you off track with a good thing.
Oh.
Because you already see the negative thing.
Okay.
You know that's negative. I'm not going to do that.
Once you develop, okay, I get it.
I'm not going to do that. That's dumb, right? So you put things in place to learn how to not do that thing any longer, right? To have discipline, to restraint. So the enemy's not going to come that way. And when I say an enemy, I'm not just talking about the devil. An enemy is anyone that tries to halt you, slow you down, or stop you from accomplishing your purpose. An enemy is anyone that tries to halt you, stop you, or slow you down from accomplishing your purpose. An enemy is anyone trying to halt, slow down, or stop the progress of your purpose. So an enemy could be a loved one. It could be a blood person, someone next to you. It could be someone who loves you and that you love.
Or the enemy.
Right. So anything or anyone trying to stop you from accomplishing your purpose, you have to understand that. You have to know who that is, right? Because the greatest plot the enemy has to take you off center by doing a great thing. Again, Joshua 9 and 10, the Gibeonites. They thought they were doing a good thing.
Right.
Well, they weren't doing a good thing. They were helping someone they thought they needed help because they understood what that meant like. But look what it cost them. So you have to have a center point, a focus point. You have to understand your why in what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because if you lose focus on your center point, then the vision can be broken. And the progress toward the vision is going to stop. So you want to make sure that you're not doing that. Locate your center point, whatever it is, and stay tied to it. You got to know your why. You've got to know your purpose. You've got to know the reason why that purpose is coming through you and what it is, even if you don't know all of it, but at least what it is I can accomplish right now. You got to learn how to stand, what I'm going to say is flat foot and kind of proclaim what you will be, then decide to do what's required so you can stay on center and stay focused and get it done. So to kind of get out of your way, not to kind of get out of your way, to get out of your way. Today and last week, we told you to respect the purpose, respect the cycle, the purpose, fruit, follower cycle, right? And do that by developing these 3 C's, 3C, number 4, 5, and 6, competence. Get it done successfully, but efficiently. And also to hone in your communication. Make sure you're casting, make sure you're confronting, and make sure you're cheering, starting with yourself. And know your center point. Know what your focus is and where everything comes from. So those are 6 C's that we have so far.
Newt loves to give you one letter thing.
Yeah. I actually have some more for you.
Some more C's.
Yeah. So I just want to proclaim over you really quickly. Listen, I decree and I declare that even now, that each of the individuals that hear or partake in this broadcast live or recorded will have a competency, what I want to say, consciously competent method of making sure that they are being competent, that they are communicating and having a center point as they move forward in whatever it is their purpose is that they are to accomplish here on this planet. So I'm decreeing that, I'm declaring that. I am, it says, whatever is released on earth is released in heaven. I'm releasing the rain. I'm releasing the resources. I'm releasing the nudges from the Holy Spirit and the assistance from the angels that are dispatched to you to make sure that consciously competent focus on the C's that we are teaching you today will become active in your life, and that you will be able to bring rest to your land, rest from the war in your land. Why? Because you're good ground.
You are good ground. Make sure you post that in.
You're good ground.
I want to say hi because we didn't get to do that, to LaDonna, Akai, Llewellyn. I can't see, there were others that they've already gone by now, but thank you so much for coming on. And also wanted to just encourage you, excuse me, to stay with us here. We have youth ministry coming up for children who may not be able to understand all this information, but they understand what it is or know the value of being a leader, a young leader. So for you all, bring your kiddos around, make sure they're sitting, because we have a video for them to take a look so they can understand a little bit more about being a leader within themselves. And keep in mind that we are never launching at you, because these are principles God has sent to us to place on our life. We are actually launching with you.
And remember, you can always watch these replays on our YouTube channel.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Launch TV. Launch 360 TV on YouTube.
Okay, here goes the kids ministry. See you next week, guys. Love you.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back. This is week 3 of our Young Leader series, and our special guest, Rocky the Courageous, has another important, powerful message to help you to be armor ready. So stay tuned. I don't even know what the message is yet. I'm getting ready to learn with you. Hey guys, I'm Super J, and today is Saturday. Launch International Kids on Saturday. That's right, and I'm Super Zach. Well, we are here for Launch 360 Ministries, Kid International, that is. That's right, Launch 360 International Ministries for kids. All kids, one big world and one great big God. Here we are growing, learning, and becoming who we're called to be every day.
Children are growing, so start them off the way they should go. And even when they're old, they will not turn from it. Proverbs 22:6. They're learning, so fathers, don't exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. Ephesians 6:4. And they're becoming, for the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. Romans 8:19.
All kids, one big world and one great big God. Good morning, everyone. I'm Super Zach. And just like Super J just said, I'm pretty excited because I know there's a powerful message behind the title Armor Ready, and Rocky the Courageous is about to really give it to us, and I know it's going to be powerful and something to help us to make it along the way. So put on your seatbelts and stay tuned. Calling all warriors, come on, put on your armor, it's time to fight. You've got to fight so that you can win this war. I've got my feet shod with the preparation of peace. I've got my sword of the spirit and my shield of faith. I've got my breastplate of righteousness and my helmet of salvation. I put on my army and I'm ready for the battle. My feet shod with the preparation of peace. I've got my sword of the spirit and my shield of faith. I've got my breastplate of righteousness, helmet of salvation. I have put on my armor and I'm ready for the battle. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready to win. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready to fight. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready, get ready. Come on, you can do it. Get ready, get ready, get ready. It's time for the battle. I've got my feet shod, and it's with the preparation of peace. I've got my sword of the spirit, my shield of faith. I've got my breastplate of righteousness and my helmet of salvation. I put on my army and I'm ready for the battle. 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 Ephesians 6:10 and 18. I'm ready for the battle. I'm ready for the battle. Got my armor on and I am ready, ready, ready for the battle. The battle. I'm ready for the battle. Good morning, everyone, and I am Rocky the Courageous, and I bet you can see I am wearing my armor. Why am I wearing my armor? Because I've got to be ready for battle. Remember, we're learning that Joshua was told to be very courageous, and that every war he would win, but he still had to get dressed for battle. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm dressed for battle. Now, I know you're wondering, that's a lot of stuff to wear, Rocky, but just let me tell you a little bit more about it. This came from the scripture in Ephesians 6:10 through 18. And it says, finally be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so you can take your stand against the devil's schemes, because he's very tricky. For our struggle and our battle is not against flesh and blood. It's not against people, but it's against the rulers, against authorities, and against powers of the dark world, and against spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms. So, to all that, we have to take up the shield of faith. That's what this shield is. It's my shield of faith. And with that, I can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Then, I was supposed to put on my helmet of salvation and use the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. Then, I'll put on my full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you can stand your ground. And after you've done everything to stand, you stand firm with the belt of truth, which is buckled around your waist, and with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. And there's one thing we all have to do. Pray in the Spirit on all occasions, with all kinds of prayers and requests before God. And with this in mind, we have to be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. That's why I'm dressed for battle. It might not be the kind of battle you're used to with war, physical war, of people hurting and dying. No, this is a spiritual war where we pray and we ask God to guard us up, to shield us up, and to get us ready to go out and war on behalf of our people. That's why I'm dressed in my war clothes. Wow, that was so amazing, Rocky Girl. You're right, Super J. That was an awesome song. Made me think. Hello, Super Zach and Super J. As you see, I am ready for battle, and I want to know if you're ready to fight. Gotta wear your armor, and you just never know when you're going to need it. So what about you, Super J? And what about you, Super Zach? Are you ready for battle? Wow, Super Rocky Girl, let me tell you, you made me think, and now I'm preparing for battle too. I'm going to have my helmet of salvation. I'm going to have my feet proud with the preparation of peace. I'm going to have my sword of the Spirit. I'm going to have my breastplate of righteousness. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready right now. The more I hear what you're saying, the more I understand how to prepare. And I'm going to always be praying for everyone. Thank you for that message. That was fantabulous. Wow, that was so amazing, Rocky Girl. Thank you so much. You are certainly courageous. And for all that information about knowing how to be dressed for battle. That's something I have to remember each day. So, just like Super Zach, I'm getting prepared too. And thank you so much for sharing God's Word with us again today. I really appreciate learning these scriptures in Ephesians, and how important it is for us to battle, not with our hands, but with our heart and with our prayers. Thanks again, Rocky the Courageous. You are amazing. That's awesome. And how about you, boys and girls? You too have to be ready with your armor on. Now, it might not look like my armor, and it is a little heavy, but it's the thing that is deep in your heart. So each day, make sure you dress up in the armor of God and be armor ready so that you can stand in this evil day and you can pray for our brothers and sisters all over the world. Well, this is Rocky the Courageous, and just like God told Joshua to be very courageous, I want you to be very courageous. And stay tuned for a great video from Saddleback Kids about that armor. And keep in mind, we do not own the rights to this video, but it's so awesome we had to share it with you.
The armor of God. God gives you the belt of truth to live God's word every day. You can know what's true and what's a lie, the enemy would say. He gives you the breastplate of righteousness to make you strong. God helps you to do what's right and stay away from what's wrong. The shoes of peace remind you that God is in control. Even when you're overwhelmed, you know God is over all. The shield of faith protects you from the enemy's attacks. With the shield of faith, you know that God has got your back. The helmet of salvation keeps your mind from fear. When you feel afraid, you can know God is near. And the sword of the Spirit is the Bible, God's special book. So open up the Bible and take a good long look. Be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Stand firm, be brave. God's given you His armor.
And we'll see you here next week for more of the Young Leaders series right here at Launch 360 International Kids International Ministries. Bye! Thanks again for watching our channel, and we want you to follow us on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe. See you here next week for Launch 360 Ministries, Kids International Ministries, that is. Oh, and don't forget to stop by Amazon and get some of Ami's World books. Her newest book is When Cheerleaders Go in Strike. Check them out. You'll love them all.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!